Hello, this is John with Brainstorm Comics and Gaming. This video series, as you may have seen from previous iterations, is about making sure you don't miss the book you're looking forward to 3 weeks from now. We're going to go over the books that we can adjust our numbers on by this Monday. If you let us know by 5 p.m. this Monday, we can make sure it's in your box. The ratio variants will be more than cover price, as they always are. If you let us know, though, we can make sure it's in your box. We can let you know what we think that price is going to be beforehand. For those who don't know, the FOC, or final order cutoff, is when Diamond allows comic book shops to adjust their numbers up or down for various books. So we try and go over the ones we think that our numbers may be a little tight. We want to make sure that you get your books. So let's jump into it and start with number 1. So the first one on this week's list is Batman and the Outsiders, number 1. The A and B covers are pretty impressive. The selling point for this series for me is that the interior art is by Dexter Soy. His work has been absolutely stunning on Red Hood. If you haven't been checking that out, definitely check out Red Hood as well. This series, the A cover is by Tyler Kirkham, and the B cover is by Sechin Sejic. I'm sure I messed up his name, and I apologize for that. The solicit for it reads as follows. When the quest for justice drives Batman into some morally ambiguous areas, he calls in the most moral man he knows, Jefferson Pierce, aka Black Lightning, and his team of operatives known as the Outsiders. Several years ago, Batman personally put the Barrera family into hiding after they suffered through a terrible experiment at the hands of an organization called ARC. Now all but one of them has turned up dead, and Batman needs to locate Sofia Barrera before the wrong people get their hands on her and her surprising power. But it wouldn't be Batman without a hidden agenda, would it? And when Black Lightning, Katana, the Signal, and Orphan find out what Batman is really up to, their loyalty will be called into question. So this one sounds like a very interesting series. If you're a Batman fan, you'll definitely want to check that one out. Catwoman, number 11. The B cover is by Stanley Artgerm Lau. It's a slightly different take on his art. If you're a fan of his, you're definitely going to look it up. I like the cover a lot myself. I think some people, it may not appeal to them, however. I think it looks pretty cool, though. Detective Comics number 103, the B cover. This is actually one of a 2-part cover. It teams up with the B cover for 1004 for Detective Comics to form an even bigger piece of art. Mark Brooks is the one that does the art on this one. Mark Brooks does some amazing things. I've been a fan of his since he was on Marvel Age Spider-Man like 15 years ago. Definitely an underrated artist and an awesome cover. Hawkman number 12, the B cover. Giulio Totino Tedesco. His art is definitely very cool. If you've not seen any of his pieces before, definitely check out this one. He definitely has a different sort of take on things. Next up is the Imaginary Fiends trade paperback. This is a collected edition of the 6-part miniseries. This is a book I've recommended to people who like Kill or Be Killed, as it explores a lot of the same elements. Brink Calais, she starts off in a mental health facility because she killed her friend when they were both 10 years old. She claims that an imaginary friend had put her friend up to killing her, and that they had gotten in an altercation, and then she killed her friend. She is now 18, and the FBI has a special unit that sort of investigates this sort of thing, and the FBI agent believes her story. It's a pretty dark but very interesting story. Definitely check that one out if you're into those types of stories. Next up is Justice League Odyssey, number 9, the B cover. Lucio Perillo is doing some really cool covers. They're kind of moody looking. They have that kind of atmosphere to it. I would love to see him do some interior work on like Spectre or a title like that. Definitely check out this cover. Red Hood, number 34, the B cover. Yasmin Putri is doing the cover. You can't go wrong with any book that she does cover to. This one is a depiction of the Penguin in a casino. I definitely think that this is a unique take on the character. This is a book that I think you may want to check out. Next up is Wonder Woman number 70, the B cover. Jenny Frison fans will be excited to know that she's returning to the variant covers. She had been garnering a bigger and bigger fan base with her covers for Wonder Woman. She'd taken a little bit of a hiatus, and now she's back. Plus, the story for this one is really good, written by G. Willow Wilson. If you haven't been checking that one out, definitely take a look at it. We move on to Image Comics. The first one is Excellence Number 1. This sounds like the potential to have a great story to it. The premise for it definitely sounds very interesting. I'm looking forward to it. The solicit reads, Spencer Dales was born into a world of magic. His father belongs to the Aegis, a secret society of black magicians ordered by their unseen masters to better the lives of others, those with greater potential, but never themselves. Now it's time for Spencer to follow in his father's footsteps, but all he sees is a broken system in need of someone with a wand and the will to change it. But in this fight for a better future, who will stand beside him? This one sounds like it's a generational war, the younger generation having a problem with how the older generation was running things. Kind of touches on some ways that people feel in society right now. So I'm hoping that it's not too preachy, but I hope that it's a well done series. Next up, we move into Marvel. Age of Conan Bellet number 3 has a Stephanie Hans variant. It's a 1 in 25, so I'm not positive we're going to get this one yet. I'm still debating on whether to order enough to get it. I think that this one's definitely going to be a hot cover though. Stephanie Hans always provides some really cool covers. Conan the Barbarian number 6, the Tedesco variant. Again, sort of in that same vein as the last one. It's a 1 in 25 variant. I'm not positive we're going to get 25 copies. I'm still debating whether to up our orders a little bit to get those. If you are interested though, let me know. It may sway my opinion. Next up is Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man number 6, the Nexon Battle Lines variant. This cover, I love this cover. It's a great depiction of Mysterio, the effects he has on those around him. Mysterio has some great potential. He's going to be in the movies coming up. I think that this one is definitely a great looking cover though, and this is an order all you want, so if you let us know, we can definitely make sure that one is in your box. Spider-Man Deadpool number 50 is next. Whenever a title hits a multiple of 25 for their numbering, something normally pretty big happens. In this one, the solicit says that the Marvel Universe is at stake. The real cool thing about this one, however, is the Dave Johnson cover. That cover looks absolutely amazing. We can still adjust our order, so if it's not one that you normally get, let us know. We can make sure that one's in your box. And it's the normal cover, it's not a variant. Star Wars Dr. Aphra number 32, the Stephanie Hans Greatest Moment variant. At this moment, the cover is not available to us to see. As I mentioned earlier though, anytime Stephanie Hans does a cover, it's definitely something to take notice of. Mix that with Star Wars, and I'm sure we're going to have a pretty awesome cover. Next up is Symbiote SpiderMan number 2. Greg Land is hit or miss for me. This is the normal cover for this title. It's not a variant cover. This time, I think he really hit a home run with this cover. Looks pretty cool, as you can see on the screen here. This is a 6-part miniseries that just started this past week, or yesterday. So if you're interested, if you want that series on your list, let us know. It's also written by Peter David, which is another bonus for that series. Next up is War of the Realms number 4. There are 2 different variants for this one that I think are pretty cool. The Hildebrandt, or ones I think are going to be cool. The Hildebrandt variant and the Hugo variant. Unfortunately, the covers for these are not available at this time, so I don't know what they're going to look like. Greg Hildebrandt always provides awesome artwork though, same with Hugo. The Hildebrandt is 1 in 50, so we're only going to have 1 copy of that. The Hugo is 1 in 25, so we'll have 2 copies of that one. Hopefully by the time this video goes up, the covers will be available and you can see those, however. Next up is War of the Realms, New Agents of Atlas number 1. This title should have some cross appeal to collectors of a couple different types. Silk fans are going to check it out because she's on the team. People who collect first appearances are going to want this one because they list like 3 different first appearances that are going to appear in this book. Third, if you're following War of the Realms, you're probably going to want to read it. And lastly, Greg Pak is writing it, so that's another bonus. The solicit for this one states the following: featuring Marvel's newest heroes Wave, Arrow, and Swordmaster, a War of the Realms tie-in series. As Cinder, immortal queen of Muspelheim, and her legions of fire demons march on Asia, it's time for a new brand of heroes to unite to protect the Pacific Rim. Having brought together a ragtag team of heroes to defend the Earth from an alien invasion in the past, can Amadeus Cho reassemble his protectors, Shang-Chi, Silk, and Jimmy Woo, to save the world from incineration? And where is Kamala Khan? And just who are the Crescent, Io, and Luna Snow? featuring Marvel's newest heroes from China, Arrow and Swordmaster, and a mysterious new Filipino hero named Wave. But like I said, that one will have a lot of cross appeal, so if you want that one, definitely let us know. Next up, we move into the independents again. First up is Red Sonja, Vampirella, Betty, and Veronica #1. This has a bunch of different covers. Each one has a different, unique take on this team up. We order pretty tightly on independents, so if you're interested in this title or a particular comic cover, definitely let us know. The different covers are done by Faye Dalton, Francesco Francavilla, Robert Hack, Paulina Ganachu, Laura Braga, Dan Parent, and Kat Staggs. The solicit for this one reads as follows. Mystery, murder, and mayhem descends on Riverdale as 4 of your favorite comic book women meet for the first time. A string of paranormal unsolved murders leads the vampire hunter Vampirella and her sword-wielding barbarian partner Red Sonja to the small sleepy town where things always seem to happen. There they discover Betty and Veronica, investigative reporters for the high school newspaper, also hot on the trail of the same killer. This one sounds like it might be a fun little mini-series. Obviously not serious, but sometimes the best comics are the ones that don't take themselves so seriously. And lastly, we have Billionaire Killers #1. This title is by Black Mask, which is known for their subversive titles. In this one, Billionaire Killers is about the children of the super wealthy who turn on their parents' version of the world, deciding to tear down that which was built by their progenitors. Here's how the solicit reads. What if the children of the 0.0001% reject their family legacies of global brutality and tear down the billionaire patriarchy? The new ongoing series, Billionaire Killers, returns to the provocative world of young terrorists for a standalone story for corruption, conspiracy, and what happens when the next generation vows to burn it all down. We live in an age where the CEO of ExxonMobil could be America's Secretary of State, a hedge fund manager worth $300 million as the Secretary of the Treasury, a lawyer who sued the EPA 14 times as the head of the EPA. In Billionaire Killers, the children of the elites discover their fathers are not just titans of finance and politics, but grand masters of international crime empires, spanning corrupt governments, arms manufacturers, international banks, and even terrorist groups. So this one is, again, one of the ones that is kind of trying to tap into the way some people feel towards society right now. Personally, I don't take a stand on any of that stuff, but I know some people will find that one very entertaining and may want to check that one out. So that is the list of the ones I think you may want to take a look at this week. If there are any books that you are interested in, give us a call at 301-663-3039 or email us at brainstormcomics@verizon.net. The variant covers for the ratios, like I said, are limited, so we can't guarantee you that we're going to get them. I just wanted to highlight them just in case we do. If you are interested in them, include us in the emails or calls as well, so that way we know that you want them in your box. Thank you for watching, and have a great week.